Part 2, continued. The corridor seemed endless. The three who remained walked hunched, their bodies tired, their minds breaking. Every step echoed too long, as if the floor stretched each sound until it became a scream of its own. Michael's fists were bloody, raw. He dragged his hand along the wall, smearing red as if to mark his way. "We're not letting it take us," he muttered. His voice was hoarse, low. "Not me. Not again." Emma walked close behind him, clutching her bag so tightly it cut into her skin. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Every shadow she saw, she thought it was Sarah's hands reaching out, begging for help. Guilt burned inside her. She had done nothing. She had only watched. John followed last. His steps were steady, his face calm. But inside, his mind turned sharp and fast. 2 gone. 3 left. It does not take at random. It chooses. But by what rule? The air thickened. The walls seemed closer. The house was listening. Emma whispered, "We should stop. Just stop. If we stop, maybe it won't find us." Michael spun on her, eyes wild. "Stop. And wait for it to tear us apart." "No. Keep moving. Always moving." John's voice was calm, but heavy. "He's right. The house is hunting. Standing still only makes us prey." Emma's lips trembled. "Then what do we do?" John looked at her, his eyes unreadable. "We find out what it wants." The corridor bent suddenly, turning them into a wide chamber. The chamber was circular, the walls slick and black. In the center stood 3 chairs, carved from the same wood as the walls. The chairs faced each other in a triangle. Michael cursed under his breath. "It wants us to sit." Emma shook her head fast. "No. I won't." The house groaned, a deep sound that rattled their bones. The chairs creaked as if calling their names. John stepped forward slowly. "It doesn't matter if we want to. The house wants it. And it always gets what it wants." Michael's chest heaved. He looked at the chairs, then at Emma, then at John. Finally, with a growl, he sat. Emma cried, "Don't." But the moment he sat, the wood gripped his wrists, his ankles, holding him. He struggled, but the chair did not move. Emma shook her head, backing away. "No. No. I can't." John walked calmly to another chair. He sat without hesitation. The wood wrapped around him, binding him as well. He looked at Emma. "You don't have a choice." The chamber trembled. Emma screamed, clutching her bag to her chest, but slowly, trembling, she sank into the last chair. The wood seized her, holding her tight. The chamber stilled. Then the whispers returned. But now the whispers were not just voices. They were visions. The walls shimmered, alive, showing pieces of memory, pieces of truth. Above Michael's chair, a scene formed. Him as a boy, hiding under a table, while his father shouted, beat, destroyed. Michael crying, too afraid to move. The whispers hissed, "You always ran. You always failed. You always will." Above Emma's chair, a vision flickered. Her room, her desk, letters stacked high. Words she had written but never sent. Love she never confessed. Regrets that grew like rot inside her. The whispers hissed, "You lied to him. You lied to yourself. You will always hide." Above John's chair, nothing showed. Only darkness. Empty. Silent. Michael strained against the wood, shouting, "Stop it. Stop showing me." Emma sobbed, "Please, no more, no more." John watched quietly. The silence above him seemed louder than any vision. He whispered, "Why me? Why nothing?" The house groaned, almost like laughter. The visions faded. The chairs loosened. The 3 staggered to their feet. Michael gasped for breath. "It's playing with us. That's all. Just playing." Emma shook her head. "No. It's feeding." John's eyes narrowed. "On what?" Emma hugged her bag, whispering, "On us." The chamber walls split suddenly. A new corridor opened, leading deeper into darkness. Michael spat on the ground. "Fine. Let's go." Let's end this. He strode into the corridor. Emma followed, trembling, whispering prayers. John came last, silent, his eyes sharp. The corridor twisted, bent, turned. They lost all sense of direction. The walls dripped, the floor groaned. At times the corridor grew so narrow they could barely breathe. At times it widened into spaces too dark to see. And always, the whispers followed. 3 remain. 3 remain. 3 remain. Then the corridor ended. They stood before another door. This one was tall, wide, carved with strange marks. The marks shifted as they stared, twisting into shapes they almost recognized, faces, hands, screams. Michael grabbed the handle and pulled. The door swung open with a groan. Inside was a great hall. The ceiling was lost in darkness. The walls were lined with tall mirrors, each cracked, each showing twisted reflections. In the center of the hall was a pit, black and deep, with no bottom. The air above the pit shimmered. Emma whimpered. "What is this place?" John stepped forward. His voice was calm. "This is where it feeds." Michael growled. "Then this is where we fight it." He strode to the pit, fists clenched. He shouted into the darkness, "You hear me? You don't get me. You don't get any of us." The pit groaned. The mirrors rattled. The hall shook. And the shadows rose. They poured from the pit, twisting, writhing, forming shapes that looked almost human. Faces with no eyes. Hands with too many fingers. Mouths that opened too wide. Emma screamed. Michael charged, swinging his fists at the shadows. His blows passed through, hitting nothing. The shadows wrapped around him, pulling, twisting. Emma ran to him, grabbing his arm. "Michael! Don't let go!" He screamed, struggling, but the shadows dragged harder. His eyes locked on Emma, desperate, wild. "Don't let it!" The shadows swallowed him. Emma's hands closed on air. Michael was gone. Only 2 remained. Emma fell to her knees, sobbing, clutching her bag. "No. No. Not him too. Please." John stood still, his face pale, his eyes dark. He whispered, "It's not finished." The hall shook. The mirrors cracked louder, splitting, falling in shards. Each shard showed faces, their faces, screaming, broken, fading into dust. Emma crawled to John, clutching his leg. "Why us? Tell me why us?" John looked at her. For the first time, fear showed in his eyes. He whispered, "Maybe we were never chosen. Maybe we were just caught." The shadows swirled around them, the pit groaned louder, the house breathed deep. And in the darkness, one thought pressed heavier than all others. If only 2 remain now, how can either escape being the next? Like and subscribe for part 3.